Hello everybody, Conde here. Welcome back to the video, guys. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about my how I'm able to build a relationship with myself, the pros and the cons, and really just share with you how to get out of this rut, especially if you feel like you're not satisfied with your life. Disclaimer, this is just for educational entertainment purposes only. If you need professional assistance, please seek it out. So let's get straight to the video. So Conde at 19 was going to be a stripper. I had everything planned out, from my name to where I was going to work at, and at that time I was experiencing a lot of abuse at home. COVID happened, and so it was a lot of things that was going on, and I feel like people don't know what you're going through, and then they wonder why you are the way you are, right? Or why you make the choices. And so Jesus Christ really this is something that I connect with. He was like, I want you to trust me. This is not the path for you right now, and I need you to be strong. And at that time, I didn't understand what he was talking about, because I'm like, oh, well, it makes money, it pays the bills, puts groceries on the table. My mom and dad won't have to argue anymore. I don't want to hear them fight about money and all that stuff. And so I was willing to sell myself to fix this temporary problem. But I'm really grateful now, looking back, that I didn't go down that route. And there's nothing wrong with going down that route. If that is your life purpose and what you have to do, eventually you're going to have to answer yourself the question as to what exactly are you putting up at stake when you do that. And so I didn't know how to build a relationship myself. I told my friend at the time that, I wanted to open up to her about the abuse and everything, and she denied that it ever happened. She was just like, oh, no, your parents are nice, they will never do this XX. And I was just like, you know what, fuck this shit. So it wasn't like I just one day was like, I'm gonna be a stripper. It was more of like, I'm so fucking tired of living like this. There has to be another way out. And at the time I was in high school, I didn't have a car. And so it was like, what options do I have? And that's why a lot of women go into that world, because they need resources and support. I don't blame them for doing that. And so I decided I'm just going to thug it out. So I took the road less traveled, and I started healing, and I started, not just healing myself, but really just facing the darkness, facing the monster under the bed. And I'm going to work here a little bit. So I started facing the monster under the bed. And 4.5-5 years later, here I am. And I'm very grateful that I took that road less traveled, but it wasn't easy. And so the reason why I'm telling you guys this video is because I started chasing money. I started chasing relationships and guys and wanting to fit in, wanting to belong, wanting someone to tell me that I'm chosen, that I'm worth staying or worth loving. And so Conde was willing to do anything and everything to feel like she mattered, like her life matters, even if it means at the expense of herself. And so I had no idea that when you really love yourself, that's when you truly build a relationship. And at that time, it wasn't like I knew what I was doing. Like for those 4.5-5 years, I was like working out, realizing my failures, my traumas, just kind of in this rut. And I was so close to giving up so many times, but I realized I want to look at myself in the mirror and tell myself I'm proud of myself, tell myself that I am worth loving, I am worth staying, I am worth being a friend, I am worth everything, I'm worthy of that. But it wasn't like I woke up one day and decided, oh, this is picture perfect, everything is solved. That's not how life works. I always give this analogy of you discover how to love yourself when you learn to love somebody else. Or it's one of those things, like the self-love journey is one of those things where it's not overnight, and you don't exactly know what you're getting yourself into. So, but when you do get yourself into that world, I promise you, everything will change. And so if you're like, I'm so sick and tired of my life, I'm so sick and tired of feeling this way, I just don't want to buy things anymore, I don't want to eat my emotions anymore, I want to fix this, well, this is the video for you. Okay? Because trust me, I got into debt because of this, toxic relationships because of this, all because I was seeking love. Not only did I buy things, maxed out cars, got into relationships, but I gained weight because of this. I dyed my hair color because of this. So when you build a healthy relationship with yourself, all the physical ailments go away. And so I decided, you know what, Conde deserves to be loved and she deserves to feel safe. So I'm going to show her what that looks like. I don't know how, I don't know when. And again, 4 years down the road, guys, 4 years, we're forever on this loving journey, this healing journey, this development journey. But I can confidently say I am so much more better. I'm so much more at peace than I was when I first started 4 years ago at 19. And so the pro of building a relationship with yourself is that you will spend less money. You will spend less money. You will start to think things, do things, eat things that love you back. You will begin to believe in yourself more than you already think you do. And you begin to attract people that love you so much. There was at one point in my life where I thought that it was just me. Like I was the reason why friends didn't stay in relationships. To a degree, yes. But I stopped telling myself those old stories the more I started loving myself, because it's like, oh, like I am lovable, right? And so people started loving me. And I'm like, this is such an amazing, amazing world. And I don't need to go on social media or buy things or eat things to get something from the world to make me feel less like avoiding the feeling of that feeling of like insecurity. But the con of trying to build a relationship with yourself is that it's going to be a lot of alone time. It's going to be a lot of alone time, a lot of crying, a lot of days where you feel like you're not being productive by feeling and healing. Does that make sense? Like when you really build a relationship with yourself, it doesn't matter about the money anymore necessarily. It doesn't matter about really the friends you hang out with, or the people you're around, because most of it is about the feeling. It's about the understanding and this deep knowing. And it's more about focusing on the inner world than external world. And so you might be dissociated from your environment for some time, because it's like when you really go through this heartbreak, this heart rebirth, this breakthrough, everything in your physical reality is going to shift in a way where you just don't feel attached to it anymore. Like the world could end and you can give less of an F, right? It's like that's what building a relationship with yourself is once you've hit rock bottom and you realize God and universe and source is the rock at the bottom, you become so disconnected to reality that God finally has the room to change your reality. But the con, again, it's a lot of alone time. But that doesn't mean you're alone in it. It just means you're going to spend majority of your time learning how to have a relationship with yourself. So the step one, I'm going to break it. I always like to do like in steps of 3. I feel like it's very, very simple. So the first step is to understand, what exactly do you want with yourself? Right? It sounds so simple. It's like, well, for me, I wanted to love myself so much that people in my life choose to stay. I'm tired of this whole like, oh, everything that happens for a reason, a season. It's like everything happens for a reason or a season because you're not aligned to it. What is meant for you that God has will stay. And what isn't, God will take away. Well, I want things to stay. I want love. I want peace. I want joy. I want to wake up knowing that I don't need to prove to anyone or anything that I have just as much of a right to breathe in this space as anybody else does. And I might not be a billionaire, I might not be a pop star, but I have the right to breathe in this very space, this very earth that we call it. That was my reason. That is why that's my desire. And I was willing to put my life on the line, and I put my life on the line for that desire. Because I was sick and fucking tired of living like that. So you have to reach the point where like you're about to do willing anything, because the way that you're doing right now is not getting you to the result that you want. So what exactly do you want to feel about yourself, right? Like, what's your outcome that you want? The second thing is matching up the skills to get to that reality. So for me, I used to tell myself, and I feel like I had to say this because Spirit told me, like, a lot of us will defend our beliefs because not only are we programmed to do so, because we don't want to let go of that belief, because then our identity has to let go. You have to be someone that you're not. So for me, it was like, okay, well, if I say I want to love myself, I need to stop eating certain foods, right? Or else my immune system will flare up. If I love myself, why would I feed myself shitty things? Oh, because I'm on my period? because I'm craving something, but then like, don't I feel bad after? And then I'm in this whole cycle again. So I'm not just trying to my intention is to love myself. It is literally to have a skill set to match with that intention, right? Because your intention has to match with your impact. So if I want to love myself, I need to develop the skills, whether it's limiting sugar and dairy, whether it's showing to the gym at a specific time, and then the impact. Okay, so I started losing healthy weight. I started I started going, getting more sunlight. I started taking more supplements. So all these things, right? So I started developing the skill. And one of the things that I'm still working on right now is sleep. So I work days and I work nights. And so sleep is very, very important for your body to regulate itself and to de-stress. So when I get less sleep, my skin flares up, my nervous system's all over the place. And so, okay, so that means I have to cut back on some shifts, and that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. And so I know what I want, which is to love myself. And then I have the skills. And you can buy courses, you can read books, you can attend classes, seminars to obtain that skill. And the third step, it's not practice makes perfect, it's perfect practice makes perfect. If you are programmed to believe the lie that you are unlovable, you can absolutely believe in the program that you are lovable. And so, but that takes right thought, right belief, right action to equal the right outcome and the right results. And so I'm gonna give you an example. When I was working out and I was 200 pounds, I was like eating fast food. I was eating fast food 3 times a day. So I had McDonald's, I had Arby's, Rally's, girl, oh my God, Chick-fil-A, like all you can name it, right? And so, but I was, I was eating healthy. I was eating my greens, but I wasn't detoxing. I wasn't getting sunlight. And I kept complaining. I was like, this isn't working, blah, 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 blah. But then I realized it's like, first of all, my intention was I wanted to lose weight to please other people. So that wasn't even the right thought. It wasn't even from love. My action, if I love myself, I wouldn't be having all these junk foods, or at least limit them. And my outcome, I did lose weight, but it wasn't in a way where I was proud of myself, because your conscious mind knows what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. Like your spirit will tell you. And so I was like, okay, well now I have to change this whole thing and come up with a new plan. And to this day, I'm still working on that. And so again, what is it that you want to feel about yourself? Which is, right? What are the skills? And execute it to the point where it's like breathing. And this was like a 4.5 year journey. And so I want to share with you guys my gym journey, because that's something that I relate to. So when I first started going to the gym, it was at YMCA, and I was a high schooler. I didn't have a car. So whatever my mom's schedule was on, like I'm on her schedule. Okay. Yeah. But eventually I started to have my own car. I started going 7 days a week, and then I had to learn how to rest. And I started going 4 days a week. And then I fell off for some time, picked myself back up. Now I'm going 6 days a week, 7 days a week. Now, I want to tell you guys that is like, Conde used to have this survival drive to achieve, show everybody what I'm doing to validate my worth and my existence, because I still didn't believe internally that I was capable of being loved. That I felt like I had to prove and earn this principle, this value, which is not okay, because that's our birthright. And so it was a work in progress. But now when I walk into the room, you can feel that I feel that I belong there. I belong anywhere. I'm home anywhere, with anybody, And so really thinking about that, I was like, okay, well, I finally learned how to love myself. And to this day, like, it's the best feeling in the world. Like, when you don't necessarily need people to make yourself happy, when you can sit at the park and literally just laugh with yourself and your presence, like, guys, that is love. Love is an action despite the fluctuation of feelings of what you said you were going to do, that is aiming for your highest good. And so in all my relationships, I say they are teachers. And this was a program that I had to do, is I kept telling myself old stories. of like, oh, like this happened, this was like, I kept thinking about the wrongs and the wrongs and the wrongs. Of course I'm gonna attract the wrong. So like how God separated the Red Sea and Moses and his people fled, right? Close the Red Sea back up. But the analogy between that is like, once you tap into love, you can't go back. You cannot go back. You might like recall, you might reflect, but don't stay in that. Okay, don't stay in the past. And it's really, really interesting because I thought about my life, how I always deemed the past as failures when they were teachers. So I had to reprogram my mind in a loving way to see life in a loving way. And so instead of seeing my relationships as the previous relationships as failures, they were teachers of what love is not. And I'm so thankful for that. And so the moment I started, this is my results, right? The moment I started loving myself and I'm applying all this, first of all, I woke up without having to feel like I need to do X, Y, and Z to say that I'm productive. I'll eat like, sometimes I eat Chick-fil-A or tacos, or I might have like some hot Cheetos without feeling bad, right? And I used to beat myself up to the point where I wouldn't even get out of my bed, right? That's how strong these programs are. But now it's like, girl, I can eat cake, cookies, my skin might flare up a little bit, but I love myself regardless, right? I can have a conversation with a stranger and not feel like I have to be someone that I'm not or people please. And my reality looks brighter. There's more colors. I'm noticing the small little things. The other day I opened my bathroom window and I'm just listening to the birds and the sun is just beaming on my face and I'm just in the moment. Like nothing is robbing me of my joy and my peace anymore. That is the power of true divine love. And it's one of those things that school doesn't teach you for that reason, because once you find fulfillment and contentment within yourself, you are the medicine to chronic discontentment and consumerism in modern day society. So of course nobody would benefit you from being happy except yourself. That is how you escape the matrix, you guys. And so that is how you have a healthy relationship with anybody and anything. Like I always say, and before I wrap up this video, okay, please take the road less traveled. You don't know what might happen, but even if you did decide to put one foot down, that is already rewiring your mind. And continue to take the same foot. Put your foot down. Put yourself first. Love yourself first. And eventually you'll make a trail. And then you realize, looking back now, you'd be so glad that you made it. And I hope that this video gives you hope that whatever you desire in your life, as the Bhagavad Gita talks about, and this is a prayer that I used to do, and I still do to this day. It was like, it's talking about when you desire something from a place of faith and love, you naturally become. So if you desire a healthy relationship in a marriage, and if you desire a business with faith and love, putting the internal work and willing to sit with that feeling and confront it, embrace and understand it, baby, the whole world is your oyster. Okay? Like I always say, be fruitful, go forth and multiply Christ consciousness, liberated consciousness, okay? Because I'm about to go to work taking care of my disabled clients, and I will talk to you guys soon. Much love.